Trust everybody, but shuffle the cards. That's what people say. I don't say that. I say trust everyone, but make sure they don't have squirrels in their pants. That's what I say. I say trust everybody, but make sure if you're going to have a picnic that, you know, there's no clouds in the sky, and if there are, get on a rocket ship and go take care of those M&F'ing clouds already. That's what I say. Shuffle the cards. Chris, do me a favor, actually. Rather than, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, small trolls. Yes, take off the, come around. You've asked for it. You guys said, what about a Chris reveal? What about a Chris reveal? This is the guy I keep calling my brother. Hello. There he is. Step on in, brother. Everybody. And he's got this cool shirt that says Mayhem. Where'd you get that?
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. He got it. And of course, so close to his last name, which is Mayhew. And the word hew, if you look it up, hew or hewn, H-E-W or with an N, is to mean cut, right?
Yeah.
It does. It actually does. Look it up. So kind of interesting. He may cut as in cutting, editing in my mind, or cutting the cards, or shuffling. My brother.
Cut the cards.
Shuffle them up, please.
Really? Any shuffle?
Any kind of shuffle you want.
The Hugh Scott shuffle?
Whoa.
Oh, Hugh Scott shuffle is a weird shuffle.
That's a weird shuffle. Now I know you're pretty big into the flourishing. Can you share a...
Smooth. I like that one. One of these ones. Classic worm.
Oh yeah.
Worm turned into a saxophone.
Whoa. From worm to a saxophone. That reminds me of my honeymoon.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay, shuffle them up.
Yeah,
you take your time. You take your time, because I'm actually standing right near the AC, and it's going right up my pants. It's awesome.
There we go.
Beautiful. Shuffle. Thank you. Round of applause. If you're sitting there, round of applause. Just seriously, take a moment, snap your fingers, click your tongue. Something for Mr. Chris. Thank you, brother. Thanks so much for your help. Okay. He shuffled up the deck of cards. We're going to flow into this little trick here. This is a perfect trick to do in a bar, okay, for two people. It's just over a couple or just a couple of people hanging out here. Prediction number one. I look the spectator in the eyes and say, okay, I'm going to do a little sketch here, a little sketch of your card. I'm not sure. I'm thinking maybe there. I'm not sure. That's prediction number one, okay? Then I turn to this person. Let's say it's a woman. I say, okay, I'm going to try to read, look into your eyes, a crystal ball, a sense of the future. Sense of the future. I'm going to write this down here like this, and I think I'm not sure. Oh, I see. Okay, I'm going to get a sense of this and this. This is going to be my prediction number two. After I make my two predictions and make sure no one can see them, I turn to the two people and to say, look, a person on my left here, you just say stop whenever they want. I go to the cards. They say stop. They stop me at a card. I say, okay, go ahead, take a look at the card. Keep it in mind. They do. They keep it very much in mind, and I put it on the table. Okay? The next person I turn to and I say, okay, your turn now. I'm going to give the cards. They say stop when you want. They call stop again. I cut the cards and I show them their card. And I say, remember your card. Okay? Boom. I say, okay. You stopped at a card. We had Chris Mayhew shuffle the deck. You stopped at a card. You stopped at a card. And I made a prediction here. Put both cards in the pack. Put the deck down. And I say, go ahead. On the count of three, I'm going to ask you to name your card out loud. And then I'm going to ask you to name your card out loud. And I go 1, 2, 3, name your cards. He says Jack of Clubs, and she says Jack of Clubs. They both, even though they, so everyone goes, what? Jack of Clubs, Jack of Clubs. And I go, well, I got two predictions here. I don't know how that's quite, don't know exactly what's going on. You guys might have pulled a fast one, but speaking of fast ones, I want you to see I actually predicted exactly what you'd both choose. This trick makes no sense. Makes no sense. It's actually unlike most of the tricks I share on this channel, because when people look back, even the proceedings, well, she got a card, he got a card, and even if they go through the deck, which sometimes they go through, they see there's only one Jack of Clubs. It makes no sense. So on one sense, thinking like a magician is going to get you in trouble on this, okay? Because you're going to go, well, no, I want to do something that makes it, maybe I'll put the first card back so they can, by accident, they'll both choose the same card. I don't want those two cards on the table. And yet, it's the two cards that beautifully support the idea of the two predictions and also explains why I'm confused. Now, if you perform for people and you've done a trick involving where I missed your card, no, I didn't, double lift, top change, there it is, you know that lay people love. I mean, it's like gorillas and strawberry jam. All over their face. They love all over their face.com. They love tricks where the magician makes a mistake, and then, because they want to see a screw up. They want to see a screw up. I mean, I'm like a really friendly guy. I don't come across as a whole lot of ego, and I'm performing for people very down to earth and this kind of thing. And still, I think, let alone the usual magician with a big ego or something, they love to see that guy screw up. They want to see, they'll pay money to see him take an arrow in the throat. So, so I wanted to touch on this, what some would call imperfect part of the trick. However, my argument is it is perfect. And my argument would be too, is that all tricks make no sense. They're all suspensions of the laws of nature for a time, okay? They do not compute. The card was there, it's in his pocket. That makes no sense. I was holding one sponge and now all of a sudden I've got a head of lettuce that's grinning at me. That makes no sense. So don't get caught thinking like a magician too much with this one, okay? Don't get caught. I encourage you to learn the trick the way I'm about to teach it to you, learning the very cool move, Harry Lorraine's Ultra move. Richard Sanders has a really nice little twist on it. So I'm going to share that with you. It's a great move, a great switch, and it makes it possible for, in a really convenient, with a shuffle deck. Learn the move, try it my way a few times and see if it suits you. And if it doesn't, then move on, of course. But let's do our thing. Now let's look at first, let's look at the Ultra move. Why don't we look at the Ultra move first here, okay? So the deck is shuffled, okay? Maybe you're not lucky enough to have a international magic star like Mr. Christopher Mayhew roll on camera and shuffle up your pack in a way that just fills you with envy and a little bit of lust, okay? But somebody, probably some drunken yahoo, gives the deck a shuffle, okay? Deck shuffle. Now, I need to get my force card second from the top. I need to know what the second card is. Lots of ways to do this. I can, turn the deck over literally and say, wow, you gave him a great shuffle, seeing the 10 of clubs on bottom. Now what I can do is get a little break above the 10 of clubs on the bottom with my thumb and do a kick cut, bring the cards together, basically leaving the 10 of clubs on the top packet, and then double undercut everything to the top, okay? That's one way for me to get the 10 of clubs to the top. Now, if I want to get second from the top, all I would do there is I'd say, hey, you did a great job of shuffling, seeing the king of diamonds on the bottom, riffle off of the back 2 cards with my thumb, with my right thumb here. I'm just riffling off the bottom 2 cards, okay? And then doing that kick cut, then the double undercut, and that gets me my king second from the top where I need it. Now that may sound like a lot, but in performance it would literally be, hey, it looks like you gave the cards a really good shuffle here. I'm going to give them one more cut here, and then I'm going to try something pretty weird here, okay? And there I've been able to get the 9 of hearts second from the top, just with a couple of cuts, okay? So that's one way you can do it. Another way, of course, if you're going to spread through the cards and say you gave them a good shuffle, you can literally spread through them, say, boy, you gave him a good shuffle, and spread right till you see the second card from the top. In this case, 9 of hearts. Now, you do have to be careful because I've found with people, they're often one beat behind you. So you go, boy, you gave him a good shuffle, and sometimes people's focus on the deck is only just when you're here, and people can get a glimpse sometimes. So what I suggest you do is you say, wow, you gave him a really good shuffle, and then bring the cards up and out of their view, as you say, and then you get to see, okay? Then you swear. So there's a few different ways you can get to basically either control the card second from the top or just know which card is second from the top, all right? Having done that, the deck is shuffled. I put the deck down, and of course now I'm going to pick up the napkins. You can do this with your own business cards. If you have business cards, it's a great way to give them out. I've done this with two $10 bills. I'm going to take them out of my own pocket and say I'm going to bet 20 bucks now, and I do the predictions on the 2 $10 bills. So you've got bills lying on the table. Nice drama. Nice money on the table, and the magician's putting his money where his mouth is, kind of thing, okay? But since I know second card from the top is still our 9 of hearts, I assume, yeah. So I tell you what, let's, instead of, let me just get the jack of clubs here. Let's assume we're using jack of clubs rather than going through a few more napkins, because here in Toronto, Canada, we're very eco-friendly. So I know the jack of clubs is second from the top. And I turn to one person, I take my time here. Remember, for me, magic is best when you use it to connect with people. So I say, in a moment, I'm going to have you select a playing card, but for now, I'm going to try to get a sense. Let me look in your eyes. One of my things, I'll have a guy take off his shoe, and I'll look down inside his shoe. So I do a sketch, and of course, I draw only 1/2 of the jack. 1/2 of the jack there. Turn to the lady over here, and I say, that's a really interesting place to put a flipper, but for now, can you please watch my show? And I do another sketch and make sure no one can see it. So everything I'm doing is saying 2 cards. 2 cards. Everything's 2, 2, 2. Okay. Now, Harry Lorraine's Ultra move, as taught to me by Richard Sanders, and he has a little variation on this. Okay, so I'm going to show you this. Here's what you want. You want it to look like you dribble the cards. Someone calls stop. You show them a card, and then you put the card on the table. That's what you want it to look like, okay? And so with this, since I've got my Jack of Clubs second from the top, what I do is I cut the pack, I keep a little break with the pinky as we do. They call stop or I dribble the cards, either way, and I'm cutting right to the break. Now, I push off the top card. And you'll find when you push off the top card, I push and I kind of, with the ball of my thumb, I push off the top card. Then with not quite the ball, but this part of the thumb, I kind of, at the same time, push along the card below it, okay? So I'm not just pushing it like this. I'm pushing that second card out a little bit like that. Now, here's the secret exposed view. The left thumb is going to pull back, leaving that card. And at the same time, my left fingers, I don't just pull back and the card stays there. What I do is the card gets slipped back and then my fingertips actually push the card a little further out. And you'll find that just the pressure on this card is enough to put pressure on this card that your fingertips just have to relax and they'll push a card out. And when you do this move, here, here, it's this switch. This is what you're doing, okay? This is the basis of the ultra move. But when you do it here and then lift your hand up like that, the switch is imperceptible from here down to here. This large action. So I am switching the real top card, which is the 2 of spades, for the jack, okay? And then I come back down, I reverse it. With a little practice, you'll see this really flows. They call stop, stop at a card. I say take a peek at the card. I love the fact that the card, and I turn my head away. When they're looking at the card, I turn my head to one side. Then I come down and I drop the card there, okay? So that's the first card, leaving me with the jack here. Now, as I've mentioned before in this channel, what I love to do is a secret move, okay, a sleight, and then bury the sleight or sell the reality of what happened by doing it for real after the fact. Sometimes we do it beforehand and then we do the sleight. But here I did the sleight, now I'm going to come here, have someone call stop, do the riffle force, and this time when I push off a card and I show it to them, it really is. I'm not doing the switch, okay? Oh, I want to remember too that I think the ultra move when it was originally taught, is they had a finger at the front and a pinky at the back. And what that does, you'll find, it creates a slot, so you may want to try it here. I find it awkward, okay? What it does allow, make sure nothing strays, I guess is the idea, but I find you don't have to do that. Just a tip if you want to try it. Excuse the pun on tip, okay? So I've forced the second jack and that goes down. Now obviously it's really important when you're showing this, you really make sure only the one person can see, or 1 or 2 people on this side. Then here, really make sure only 1 or 2 people. Everyone is convinced, deck is shuffled. Cards have been freely selected, 2 cards on the table. No one's thinking for a second we're going to select the same card because clearly you did not. Okay? That's another advantage of this structure because I've been performing card tricks for people in bars for about a zillion years, and it's not uncommon for people out of nowhere to sort of say, oh, I bet I got the same card. Or wouldn't it be weird, and they remember a card trick from 3 times ago, I wonder if it's the 4 of diamonds like Lucy got before she was instantly exploded into flames and the duck showed up with hoses. So you turn, okay? So I like this idea of there, it's clear they're separate. Then I take the 2 cards, put them in separate places. Boom, put the deck away. It's all down to this, okay? And it's nice if you can remember, I don't know if I did, but it's nice if you can remember which way they're facing so you can just get this really beautiful theatrical rollover. Boom, you got this, okay. I made 2 predictions even before you selected the cards. On the count of 3, I want you both to shout the same card. On the count of 3, I want you both to shout what was your card. 1, 2, 3, jack of clubs, jack of clubs. And I go, stop kidding around, really, what was your card? And I go, jack. And the people are emphatic and their friends look to them. What do you mean you both chose the jack of clubs? That makes no sense. Sometimes I can even go through and I say that's the weirdest thing because there's only 1 jack. I don't even know what's going on. It makes no sense. So you join them. I love it when I'm confused, they're confused, but then the twist. Then the twist here. And I say, well, I gotta say, I got your prediction correct, but yours, well, I got it correct too. And when they see just this image, this whole trick is designed just to get to this image of apparently the 2 are separate, but in the end there's this wonderful melding of things. When it all comes together like that, you are going to get some sweet reactions from wonder to full out, everyone's pissed off at you. Now keep in mind, anything you can draw on, you can do this with. Okay, anything. So it can be, you can tear a piece of paper out of a newspaper, out of a magazine, out of the school paper lying around, out of a paper bag from lunch, anything you can write on. And don't get caught up trying to make your magic look pretty all the time. That's an old style. I think more and more, if you can use something in the space, and even if it has a raw feel, all the better, okay? And this is perfect for that. In fact, you know, of course, after I do this trick, what do? You crumple these up, right? And if you happen to have an extra one, and you can do two hands, you can do two in the hand, one in the pocket, or these kinds of things. Or you can have force another card, right? And then have someone hold one of these, and when they open their hand, they find that it's changed to 3 of spades. Now, I don't know, maybe you saw it all on camera, which is fine. I just wanted to share the idea with you, is that when you're in a space and you're using things, I mean, when the stuff, certainly there have been moments when I'm performing magic, and I bet you can relate, where you're kind of riffing. You did a card trick and they're really liking it, you do something else and they're really liking it, and so now you've relaxed. And there's this sense of we're just horsing around, and the reactions are great and you're flowing nicely. And so this kind of stuff with paper napkins or sheet of newspaper, when you start using these casual predictions and getting people involved in unusual experiences that bring people together, you know, hey, I chose the Jack of Clubs too, that doesn't make any sense. When you start whipping things around almost like I guess it's like people's minds on a paint machine. When you start doing that, I think that's when you're getting into a really special experience. So, as always, try the trick. It's easy to watch a trick and think, I'm not sure. You can't know. Even I've spoken to even expert, long-time professional magicians, and even they will say that, you know, until I try a thing and kind of try it a few times, get a sense of how I personally might actually do it, then you can decide. That's really the best time. Students ask me, you know, what trick should I learn? And the one thing I always say is learn the tricks that excite you. That excitement is the fuel for your performance, okay? So as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Oh, and my newsletter. More and more of you are signing up for my newsletter. I had a tech glitch a few weeks ago, sorry. I kind of got overwhelmed with emails. It's a long story. But I'm going to, below this video, I'll make sure to have a little link. It's a free newsletter. Comes out once or twice a week. It's a mixture of stuff. I give tips on performance. Sometimes I share some thoughts about a recent gig I did and how I wish I had done it differently or why it went so well. I love sharing crazy reactions. I mean, I've had the craziest reactions. And I love sharing those in the newsletter too. I know a bunch of you are also interested in upcoming product releases and stuff, so I've always got some information in there as well. To sign up for the newsletter, the link will be below. It's just going to be a link to sankymagic.com, my merch site. But at the top, there's a little sign-up box. It's kind of subtle, so unlike me. It's a little sign-up box. Enter your email into the sign-up box there, and you'll start getting my free newsletter, magic newsletter with tips and all that stuff, okay? It is such a privilege, and certainly one of the, you know, frankly, apart from my kids and being married and certain live performance moments, sharing my love of magic with you guys is definitely one of the greatest joys in my life right now. So I really appreciate your interest, and it's so great to be doing this together. Thank you so much.